Hey everybody, welcome back. Today's Friday, it's like 1 o'clock. We're gonna go into Thrifty Shopper in New Hartford, New York. So let's go see what we can find. Alright, well I started over at the far end of hard goods. Actually, the store was pretty quiet when I got there. It got busier as I went on. There's a cute little leaf dish they wanted $2 for. Not really sure what that was. Some of the shelves were sparse and some had some new stock. This was a cool thing. I didn't know what it was at first, but I just kind of really liked the shape of it, and I like Greek key pattern. They wanted $5 for it. I did notice it was modern, but it was a cool piece, nice weight. It could be used as a trinket box or a planter. This was a cool piece of pottery, just caught my eye. And when I picked it up, I noticed it was signed, and that kind of looked familiar to me. So I figured I'd just grab it for the price and research it when I got home. This was a cool fondue pot, but they had it so taped that I was like, I feel like there's probably some sort of mystery char something inside. And I had a little damage there, so I just decided not to risk it and I left it behind. This was just kind of a cool, like, pumpkin spiderweb thing. And then I almost got slammed in the back by somebody coming out of the stock room, and, like, the door flew open into my back. This was just colorful. I thought it was Melmac. But I was trying to see the brand. I just could see that it said made in China, and they wanted $4 for it. This is a nice piece of silver overlay. I'm not sure who it's by, if it's Silver City or not. But nice size, heavy platter, nice shape. I decided to leave it. I went back over to the plates, and I've been trying to research some Syracuse China patterns. So I was trying to keep my eye out. I saw this cozy on the mug, and I was like, wow, that's like seriously a knit cozy. I did grab this piece of depression glass because I wasn't sure what pattern it was. I figured once I found out, I'd be like, duh. But it was heavy, so I thought it was at least an older piece. And then I found this tidbit tray, a little bit of Nippon lusterware. I'd never seen a tidbit tray before, and had a decent price on it. What was next? Oh, this picture up here, it kind of looked nice, but then as I got closer, I noticed it had a big chip on it. And it wasn't anything handcrafted. It was a mass-produced piece. This I thought might be something, but it was, oh man, I can't remember the brand now, but it wasn't an artisan piece. It was an artisan line, but not an artisan piece. And it was also missing the top to it. These I thought might be painted glass, but they were plastic. Just plastic. Still pretty, whatever. That is the Fairfax pattern. This, every time, it's Temptations. Every time. I'm like, oh, what's this? And it winds up being Temptations. This is, oh God, the Coral Oriental Wood pattern, I believe. If I'm remembering correctly. It was cool. I thought the bowls actually had the pattern inside, but they didn't. And there was a spare bowl on top that wasn't part of the same set. And then I went over to the glassware. This is Anchor Hocking tartan, which I kind of really like. I'm a sucker for it. I think it looks classy. But it's only worth a couple of bucks. These I didn't look up yet, but they might be Rapture Blue by Sasaki. Those you can get a couple bucks for, the Sasaki stemware. I always go through the boxes because what's ever pictured on the outside is generally not what's on the inside. Not that these had anything particularly special, but I still try to, take my time and go through those, make sure there's nothing really there. This last box I checked, wine is the cheapest therapy. I think that depends on your wine budget and your taste for wine. There was nothing in the vase section. It was a lot of FTD, Teleflor stuff that's kind of been there for a while. This was a cool plate, and I think it just said made in America or American made, handcrafted, made in America, oven proof. The pattern was cool, but when I looked closer at it, I noticed it was pretty worn in the middle, so I left it behind. Thought these might be a little bit of older pewter, but when I turned them over, they had a website address, so definitely not antique pewter. Not that it sells much, but I just was like, oh, pewter on the shelf. What else was over this way? Oh, I looked at this real quick, but then right as I went to pick it up, I saw it had a chip on it, so I left that. And then over here, These are hand-painted, signed, if I'm pronouncing it right, Rampini Rada. And some of that stuff can go for a couple of bucks. I grabbed them right away. They were $2.99 a piece. But as I was putting them in my cart, I noticed a chip on that one. And then a crack in all the other plates had cracks in them. About at least halfway through the plate. So I just put them back. This piece was cool. It just had that total mid-century feel to it. And it had this cute little signature on the back. So that was cool. It had some provenance. And then this plastic tray. I don't do a lot with plastic, but this was in decent condition. I realized afterwards it does have a slight crack in it. There's a piece of stangle. I didn't get a chance to look it up. I kind of wish I grabbed this, but I wound up leaving it behind. I don't know. This just kind of looked cute and cool, but they wanted like $10 for it. So no, I left that one behind. It's a modern piece, and I'd be lucky to even get that for it. I walked past this once, and then the second time I walked past, I was like, uh-oh, poor Tinkerbell. Here's today's word art. And this was, I almost walked out of the store without even seeing this. I must have walked past it twice, but it's a nice piece of uranium. So, of course, I'm going to grab that. Yeah, I don't know the pattern on it. I'm not sure. But I'll look it up. It's obviously uranium. It's like practically glowing in the store light. And then this I also didn't look up, and I wish I had grabbed it because it's Sears Roebuck. It's like 1975. But it had a bunch of chips up on the lid. So I decided to leave it. But I may go back and grab it if it's still there. Who knows? We'll see. I'm like petting it. All right, we are back at the barn. I got a handful of things, actually. So I'll go over quickly with you what I got. It's a little chilly out here, so I'm going to probably move quickly through this one. But you saw me pick this up. This is a uranium glass bowl. I pay $3.99 for it, and I'll probably list it around $25-30. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a rolled edge bowl that sits like this, or if it isn't like a shrimp cocktail bowl and there would have been another piece in the center. And then as far as the pattern goes, I'm not sure. It could be Cambridge, Glastonbury Lotus, Heisey maybe, but I haven't identified the pattern. So if I find out before I list it, you'll see it there in the listing. I found a nice little Nippon tidbit tray, and I see a ton of Nippon lusterware, but I've never seen a tidbit tray. So this was $2.99. I figured I'd grab it, look it up. Probably listed around like $20. It did have more paint here on the handle, but it's worn off. So it's not like in the greatest condition, but it is still a nice piece of vintage servingware. So there was that. I grabbed this. So this is modern. It has a UPC on the bottom of it. And it was $5, but I honestly thought it was a pretty attractive piece of pottery. It's lidded, and it's got a crazing glaze effect, as well as this kind of wood grain. I don't know if you can see it. This wood grain effect, which I hadn't seen before in a glaze. And it's got the Greek key, which, is always a nice classic bit of pattern. So I grabbed that. It's got the little lion head handles on the side and brass finial on top. Again, $5. Sure, I can double my money on it, if not a little bit more. So there was that. I grabbed these. I was hoping they were vintage, but I was fooled. These are circleware, and I think they were sold by Target. However, this is actually a cut pattern. This isn't like just etched glass. It's actually cut. And it has a nice feel in the hand for holding. So they have a nice 60s appeal anyway, even though they're modern. I'll probably list them around $10, and I think I paid $1.99 each. So we'll see. But they're really pretty. It's a nice blue. You saw me grab this piece of pottery, and it does have a signature on the bottom. The closest, and I've seen this signature before, but I never identified it. So I did a little more research, and I found Stig Lindberg has a very similar signature, though normally his pottery has a secondary mark for where he made it. And it usually doesn't have just his signature. So I'm not 100% sure this is Stig Lindberg. However, this is still a really nice piece of art pottery. the drip glaze on it is a little bit restrained, and that it's not all the way around the entire piece. So it's a bit, to me, more eye-catching. And it does have this nice little bit of curly Q on the applied handle. This was, I think, $4.99. So I thought that was a good purchase that day. And hopefully I'll get, if anybody, take a closer look. If anybody knows who that is or thinks that's Stig Lindberg, just let me know in the comments. I'd love to learn, you know that. Next was, so when I saw these, I was like, no way, that's brand new, like Melmac still in the packaging. And it's not. It's something contemporary. I paid $4 more for it than I should have, and I will probably give it to my kid. They're just a nice, fun set of plates. I did think they were vintage, or potentially at least, you know, 20-something years old, but they're not. So, but they're fun. And then this, you guys saw me grab this. This has, I don't know if you can see it, I got it for $4.99. It's got this pink glaze on it, but it's like a lusterware, iridescent, pearlescent, whatever you want to call it, glaze that just screamed 1960s to me, the glaze and the shape of the piece. So when I picked it up, lo and behold, on the back it says, to Miss Page, love, Dawn, 2/3/1960, and I was like, sold. So I grabbed that, $5. It does have some crazing in it, you know, but it doesn't really affect the piece, I don't think. It's just from age and probably a less than great glaze that was used, a cheaper glaze, so that's what caused it to craze. But I think it's really, I mean, to see that out on somebody's table, I think would be really pretty. And what else? Oh, I think this was it. This was the last thing. So this is just totally a 1990s plastic tray. It reminds me of several kitchens that I grew up seeing at friends' houses with this ivy theme. And, you know, this stuff always comes back around again. The price on it was $2.99. It is Stoddard brand, and it did look like they had some decent stuff out there. So I grabbed it. And I think that was it. Yes. So that's what I got. And I'll get all this stuff up in the next couple of days. Again, if anybody recognizes, I'll show you again that signature. That would be awesome. And so I gotta actually go away next week to Houston. I'm gonna try while I'm there for a few days to hit a thrift store down there. So stay tuned. Hopefully my next video will be from Houston. Who knows? Other than that, I think we're all set. You guys have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.